estratehiya niya lang ho yan para ika nga hindi niya mabitawan ng pwesto. Kasi anumang oras mula ngayon, pagka nagsesyon, merong isang tumayo, binakante ang pwesto ng Senate President, ligwa ko yung mama na yan. Wala na hong bilang si Soto. Ramdam niya na ho yan. Malamang sa malamang, sa kasaysayan ng Senado, siya ho ang pinaka-maikling Senate President na naglingkod bilang Senate President. Umpisahan ho muna natin ang ating talakayan dito kay Risa. Nakita ko itong larawan na to. Ngayon mo sabihin, Risa, na wala kang balak tumakbo ng pagka-presidente sa 2020. Ano yan?
Senator Risa Hontiveros.
Pagdating sa solid sa kaipalan, isa ho talaga yung si Risa Hontiveros. Tignan nyo naman yan.
Mahayag o pag-amuma.
Grabe naman niya. Talagang ibinandera yung pagmumukha ni Risa sa likod ng truck. Wag lang sanang bumangga yung truck na yan. Anak ng tokwa. Tingnan nyo naman ho. Pambihira Yan ho talaga ang sobrang pag-iipal. Di ba? Tutulong ka na lang. Ipangangalandakan mo pa. Pagkatulong ka na, huwag na yung pangalandakan. Tahimik ka na lang. Kung merong makapuna, nagpasalamat. Salamat, thank you. Okay na yun. Diba, huwag mo nang, dapat ako makita nyo, dapat tutulungan ko kayo. Hindi ko kasi natin style yun. Yung style natin parang yung Tatay Digong. Kung tumulong ka na, huwag mo nang pagkalat. Diba? Kaya ngayon, pagka mayroong nakapansin, tumulong ka pala, ha? Ganun lang. Wala mo yan. Tara. Pero yung tipong kailangan buong universe alam na tumulong ka. Anak ng toka, meron kang problema sa utak. Malalaman din ng mga tao yan. Magtatanong sila. Pagka natanggap nila yan, kanino ho galing? Kay Senator Risa. Baka i-post pa yan personal sa social media, di ba? Senator Risa, maraming salamat dito sa 2 kilong bigas. Di ba? Tipong ganon. Merong na-touch dyan sa relief goods na yan. Sino kong nagbigay nitong pinamimigay nyo na yan? Galing sa opisina ni Sen. Risa. Kayo na humbala kung gusto nyong magpasalamat di ba? Pero hindi na ho namin linagay. Ayaw ho hindi ho siya epal Di ba? Merong ganun Pero itong si Senator Risa, yung kaepalan niya, sukdulan hanggang buwan. Anak ng Petrang Garabata. Lipat tayo dito kay Tuta Soto. Ano na naman ba itong kabalbala na ito? Kaaga-aga yung mga nababasa ko na to. Ito, tanghali na pala, sorry. Puya to kasi tayo kagabi. Ito mga kababayan, ano ba itong post na to ng Nightline News? Ito ho, no urgent bills. Sinuspende ni Senate President Tuta Soto ang sesyon ng Senado hanggang Oktubre 10 dahil sa conflict sa mga budget hearing na isinasagawa tuwing 3:00 ng hapon. Anak na hindi. Yaang pagsuspende mo na yan. Yaang pagtigil na yan ng sesyon. Ano ho yan? Estratehiya yan. Kasi maraming issue na i-raise ng mga kapwa senador nitong si Tuta Soto dyan sa session hall pag nagkataon. Hindi ho yung conflict sa mga nangyayaring budget deliberation, budget hearing ngayon sa mga komite ng Committee on Finance. Hindi ho yun. Nung dati naman, mas importante yung session dyan sa hearing na yan, di ba? Di ba nga yung hearing ng Blue Ribbon Committee na kung saan talagang inaabangan ng sambayan ng Pilipino, talagang pinuputol nyo. Anong oras? 2:00? 1:00? Pinuputol nyo para makapagbigay daan dyan sa session na yun. Dahil importante yan Dahil yung yung mga privilege speech dyan naririnig Yung mga tanungan sa mga kung paano paandarin nitong si Tuta Soto ang Senado, dyan nila i-release Tapos yung paraan na para makapagsalita, yung gagaya mo senador dyan sa plenaryo, bigla mong itinigil. Parang hindi naman ho ata tama yan, Tuta Soto. Masyado naman ho kayo na paghahalata, nakabado 20 kayo na pagka nagkasesyon, baka bigla kayong mapalitan. Hindi. Ganyan kayo Pagka malapit na mabuko, malapit ng mapin down, itong si Martin Romualdez sa issue ng flood control, tigil lang hearing, indefinite suspension. Pagka malapit na matanggal sa pwesto, itong si Tuta Soto, anong mangyayari? Tigil lang session. dahil anumang oras pwede siyang tanggalin. Ganun lang naman ho yun mga kababayan. Ho. Lipat na ho tayo. Utaso to. Yan sinasabi ko sa iyo eh. Masyado ka na paghahalata eh. Huwag kang masyadong halata kasi nababasa ng mga kababayan natin, yung mga kabalbalan mo na yan. Ito dito tayo sa interview. Netong si Ma'am Karen Davila dito kay Senator Frank. Ito, game.
Right. What are your thoughts on what is happening in the Senate today? Let's start with that first.
Yan. Gusto kong marinig
It is
yan.
a sign of how unstable our Senate politics and Senate leadership is. You know, Karen, I call this what has happened or what has happened yesterday and over the past 2 days as the King's Gambit.
King's Gambit. Hindi ho natin alam yung gambit.
Ping Lacson quit as a chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee in the hope that it will appease his majority colleagues so that the presidency of Ping Lacson is preserved. I heard earlier Senator Ejercito saying that he is not happy with the way the probe is being handled. Now, you have a 15-9 majority. Majority of about 6 now. Part of the 6 or part of the 15 is Pia Cayetano. Now, don't tell me that if Alan seeks the Senate presidency, Pia will not vote for him. Now you have J.V. Ejercito saying that he and 4 more would bolt the majority or would remain bolt the majority. So Ping Tito can lose his presidency. If he loses his presidency, what are we talking about as chairman of the Blue Ribbon? Ping Lacson will be changed. So as a gambit, he says, I quit. I don't know if
Ramdam na nitong si Ping. Ramdam na niya na alam na niya na napupursin na niya eh. Okay. Yaring lamang. Matatanggal ka na rin naman Tutaso to. At least hindi nila masasabi na tinanggal ako bilang Blue Ribbon Committee. Ramdam na nitong si Ping Lacson na matatanggal tong si Tutaso to. Ngayon ito. Ang pag-suspend na yan sa session. Pagkatapos, huwag na kaya natin Senado. Lang to ka, pagkatapos yung tinigil yung hearing sa Blue Ribbon Committee, ititigil nyo naman ngayon ang session hanggang sa October 10. Biyernes pa talaga. Sige, bigyan ka pa namin ng 4 na araw pagiging Senate President. Pero pagkatapos ng ng Webis na yan, sa Friday, last mo na yan ha. Last mo na yan.
He knows this, but hopefully, but in the mindset or in the calculation of Ping, hopefully, he's quitting the Blue Ribbon Committee, appeases or addresses the concerns of his fellow senators, and therefore would maintain Tito Soto as Senate President. We need the majority today to remain in the majority from where I sit. As a political observer, I would like to see the president.
Ito kahit na nasa magkabila tayong bakod na Senator Frank, re-reactan ko pa rin yung video mo ha. Kasi di naman ako talyanista sa imada dito eh. Re-reactan pa rin ho natin para makita lang ho natin kung paano mag-isip itong mga dilawan na to. Gusto niyang manatili yung mga majority kung nasaan sila ngayong mga panahon na to. Tayo naman ho mga kababayan, taliwas naman yun ang ating paniniwala. Bilang political observer, bilang hindi mayaman, nakagaya nitong si Drilon, nakikipagsalamuha sa mga kababayan nating talagang hindi nakakariwasa sa buhay, yung mga nasa kalsada, nakikita natin yung nangyayari on the ground, di kagaya nitong si Drilon. Sa tingin natin, kailangan talagang mapalitan nitong si Soto para maitulak ang interest ng mga ordinaryong mga nakakasalamuha natin. Nakakasalamuha ni Daryl, mga milyonaryo, mga mayayaman di ba? Iba ho yun. Magkaiba ho kami ng mundong ginagalawan ng mama na yan. Hindi, yan, siguro nakikita niya na stable ang magiging stable lang lahat kung mananatili ang mga bagay-bagay sa Senado kung ano sila ngayon. Para siguro sa mga kaibigan niya, dahil yung tatlong liberal party dyan, si Bam Aquino, Kiko Pangilinan, Rizal Hontiveros, hindi ho nila boboto talaga yung si Alan Cayetano, Alan Peter Cayetano. Di ba? Ano ho lahat yan? Lahat ng nangyayari ngayon sa Senado, in preparation ho yan sa 2028. Di ba? Pagka naupo si Alan Peter Cayetano, anong mangyayari dyan? Tuloy-tuloy ang hearing. Hindi yung naratibo ng mga woke na dilawan at pinklawan, hindi ho mangyayari yan. Di ba? Mababara ho sila, wala ho silang papel dyan sa Senado pag nagkataon. Wala naman nakikinig sa kanila bilang minority. Hindi kagaya ngayon, ang ingay-ingay na minority. Pagka nagsalita ang minority, lahat ng mainstream media, automatic yan. All out yan. Pero pagka sila naging minority, wala, para silang mga sisiw.
That leadership continue. But if not, that's a decision of the collective judgment of the senators. You know, Karen, I was elected Senate President 4 times. That means I was deposed at least 3 times. So I know what it takes.
Okay.
And yeah.
No, Senator Drilon, okay, let's start with what you've said. It's a king's gambit, and in effect, Senator Panfilo Lacson resigning from the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is an effort to help Senate President Tito Soto save his position. Did I get you correctly there?
Very correct, Karen. Very correct.
So what went wrong? That's the question. Because former Senate President Cheese Escudero was deposed because of rumblings within the Senate. Some said they were unhappy that he didn't hold caucuses as often. Some were unhappy of how he acted during the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte, but he claims, of course, the Supreme Court has vindicated him. But what went wrong? There was supposed to be some sense of hope and renewed trust in the Senate with Tito Sen. What went wrong?
What went wrong is the fact that Ping Lacson did not think out, probably in the heat of the work, let us think out of the effect of his statement when he said almost all the senators had insertions. To me, that's the most immediate reason why there was dissatisfaction. You know, Karen,
Yan ang nga ho ba sinasabi natin. Ang problema ho kasi dito kay Ping, sumusobra ho siya sa daldal. Diba? Kung ano man ang pinagsasabi niya, yan tuloy nagalit sa kanya mga kasama niya. Hindi mo na, yung mga bagay-bagay na yon, hindi mo na dapat sabihin yun. Pero dinaldal pa rin ho niya, pwede mo naman sabihin, lahat naman ng mambabatas, lower house, upper house, merong insertion. Pero ang sinasabi natin dito, hindi naman masama ang insertion. Lininaw mo kaagad sa iyong hangarin na makapagpapogi, sa iyong hangarin na ika nga ikayo ang magmukhang bida, ayun na nga, di ba? Nagalit sa inyo yung mga kasamahan nyo sa Senado, sa inyong dalaw nitong Siskol Bukol. Yun ang ini-aim talaga nitong dalawa na to, sila lang ang magmukhang banal. Galit yung mga kasama nila, galit lahat sa kanila ngayon. Tinigil lang session sa Biyernes na lang daw dahil kesyo bibigyan daan itong mga committee hearing na to sa budget deliberation, sa budget hearing. Pwede naman isingit yan Mas importante yung session kasi yan ang paraan para mapalitan ka, Soto.
Elaborate a bit. An amendment, the insertion is an amendment to a proposed legislation. The amendment is part of the power of the member of Congress. What is wrong is in the execution. I repeat that. The power to insert or amend the General Appropriations Bill is part of the mandate of a legislator. It is in the execution of these amendments and the failure of those who are supposed to exact accountability that has caused all this mess. Karen, I have never seen a corruption of
Kahit si Senator Frank nga, meron ka rin naman insertion dati, di ba, Senator Frank? Alam ko meron din yan yung gymnasium ba sa Iloilo? Kalimutan ko na, pero di ba, Sen, kung di ako nagkakamali correct me if I'm wrong comment ka na lang dyan sa baba. Di ba meron ka rin namang insertion? Pero nagmaterialize yung project, wala problema yun. Overpriced, hindi overpriced, di natin alam, pero importante dito, nagmaterialize yung project na gagamit ng taong bayan, kaya hindi masama insertion. Tama mali, Senator Frank.
of this magnitude in the budget. And this is really unfortunate. We should punish those who are guilty of corruption in the execution of these projects. The district engineers, the DPWH, the congressman whose intention it was, or senator whose intention it was to really steal money, they should be punished. But I will defend the right of every senator or congressman to amend through what is now termed as insertions. They have the right to do that. But, you know, and there are protective measures along the way to check abuses. Example, the president can exercise the line-item veto, or the president can exercise the power to release later, not immediately, whatever insertions there are. This is how it balances in a democratic system. Congress has the power to authorize, the president has the power to veto, the president has the power to withhold releases. So it should work in a democratic system. The problem is sometimes there is connivance, as in this case. I think there is a connivance between the legislators who propose the amendment with malice aforethought, and there is neglect or pressure or even collusion between certain agencies in the executive branch and the legislature. So, you know, but it is not that there is no remedy. We can remedy this, we can prosecute, we can put fear in the hearts or in the minds and hearts of these malicious public officials.
Senting, Sen Frank, sinabi na rin natin yan noong panahon nitong si Napoles. Noong ang panahon ni Napoles, meron pa mga nakulong na government official. Hindi ako tayo naniniwala dyan. Parusang bitay ang kailangan dyan, o palitan ng presidente, o iupo si BP Sara para malaman naming usapan. Sigurado pagka si BP Sara trumabaho dyan, sigurado planchado yan. Sa tingin ko, meron ng iniisip tong si BP Sara. Halimbawa ako presidente ngayon, nangyari tong kabalbalan na to, nung gagawin ko. Yung baka ganun iniisip ni BP Sara. Gawin natin si presidente si BP Sara. Tingnan natin kung paano niya sasalansanin tong mga ano na to. Wala na maraming cheche-bureche. Nagsusumigaw ng mga ebidensya. Nakarantowa. Nakapatek Philip. Naka-Rolex. Hindi naman yun masusustain ng kanilang mga sweldo sa pamahalaan eh. O anong gagawin natin dyan? No? Simple lang. Nagkasala kayo, ninakaw nyo sa pera ng sambay ng Pilipino, merong nagurgur dyan sa ginawa nyo na yan, pagbayaran nyo. Anong kabayaran? O si BP na bahala dun. At kung ano man ang gagawin kabayaran dyan, siyang ayon tayo dyan. Diba?
How? By
Pwedeng itali sa sa manggang puno ng antik, di ba? Yung mga malalaking langgam. O, itali natin doon. Pakain natin sa langgam yung mga magnanakaw na yan. Oh, hindi pong nakatali lahat sila, yung i-broadcast natin. Kaso pagka nakatali, itakpan natin ng tape yung bibig para hindi maingay. Diba? Alam nyo mga kababayan, sabihin naman napaka-brutal naman ni PH. Mga kababayan, yung mga nag-iiyakan pagkatapos ng baha dahil nawalan ng mahal sa buhay, mas masakit ho ang nararamdaman nun. Yung mga yung pinag-ipunan mo, pinagtrabahuhan mo ng ilang taon nang dahil lamang dito sa pagnanakaw nitong mga government official na to, nalubog ang baha mo, nasira baha mo, tinangay ng ilog ang bahay mo, wala, yayari ka dyan, di ba? Mas masakit ho nararamdaman ng mga yon. Kaya kung itali natin sa mangga na puno ng langgam yung mga yan, ayos lang yun, problema. Di ba, si Saldi ko itali natin. Yung mga itlog-itlog ng antik, lagay natin sa ulo niya. Hindi, halimbawa nga lang, kung kunyari, ang naging parusa sa paano ka lang gagawin ng in aid of legislation na yan, kung sino mang mapatunayan na nagnakaw ng pera ng sambayanan, itatali sa mangga na puno ng antik, yan mas matindi ho yun eh. Talagang yung sakit, mararamdaman mo eh. Sakit to nun eh. Kasi nararamdaman natin yung pagka umakit tayo ng mangga, tapos kumuha na tayo medyo mahinog-hinog, di ba? Tapos puno ng antik. Ang sakit nun. Oh.
Enforcing the law. That is what is wrong today. There is already impunity because nobody believes that anyone can be punished under the system that we have.
Wala.
Wrong. If the
Antik ang
public
kalaban.
officials do what they're supposed to do, we can remedy the situation.
Okay, let's start first. This is for the viewer. The word amendments and insertions in the budget now have
Yan,
been
yan.
given
Gusto ko yan.
an evil connotation, right? But amendments and insertions also don't mean the same technically. Ang amendment, pagbabago sa Tagalog. Ang insertion, siningit. Diba? So, iba yon. Yung pagbabago, nag-amend ka ng budget dahil sa paniniwala mo, eto, mas maganda dito, kailangan. Ang insertion, parang ang dating, isiningit mo to dahil it almost has a scheming and dark meaning to the word na parang it's done in the dark or in secret. Parang ang insertion, parang ang dating tinatago mo yun. Ang amendment, binago mo pero alam ng lahat. Tama ba yun?
Oo, pareho po yan. Amendment or insertion. Pareho po yan.
Excited na excited sumagot itong si Senator Franklin Drilon. Alam na alam niya kasagutan. Ang bira, oo.
Insofar as the
Kabisado yung insertion tsaka yung amendment. Galing.
grant of the power is concerned, an amendment is an insertion. It's an insertion in the budget, is an amendment in the ordinary law, in ordinary legislation, but both are bills that are passed by Congress in its power to legislate. But let me finish. It is in the implementation of this amendment or insertion nagkaloko-loko na because number one, the plenary or the BICAM itself should have disapproved such insertion. Pangalawa, even assuming that the system of scratch my back, I'll scratch yours prevails, when it gets to the president has the power to exercise a line item veto, meaning that particular item is vetoed without vetoing the whole the general appropriations bill, or mark it for later release,
Okay.
FLR. In these two cases, then the amendment does not, or insertion does not work. And number three, if it fails, then you have the agencies such as the Ombudsman and the COA who are supposed to check on this. So, the error or the failure of the system is because of the people manning the system.
Okay, but then for the 2025 budget, amendments were made during the BICAM. So technically, Senator Drilon, that is allowed, right? That is a function of being a legislator. But with the small committee, that's where billions of insertions were made. So yun ang ibig ko sabihin. Ang amendment, kapag nasa BICAM and out in the plenary sa sistemang tama, tanggap po ito. Pero kapag ipinasok ng patago doon sa small committee, yun ang problema. Tama, sir?
Yun ang problema, pero hindi yan illegal. That is a problem, but that is not illegal. that is not unconstitutional. Because you cannot legislate and pass a law which says that you cannot amend the versions of the House and the Senate in the BICAM. The Supreme Court has already ruled that the Bicameral Conference Committee can insert new provisions. There are supposed to be checks. The report of the small committee can be disapproved by the BICAM as a whole, or if approved by the BICAM as a whole, it can be disapproved in plenary.
So
Even
frankly,
if approved on plenary, it can be vetoed by the president. Even if approved by the president, it can be the release can be withheld. So that's how it is.
So technically, are you saying, because a lot of the alleged corruption and insertions happened in that small committee, supposedly with Zaldico, former Senate President Chis Escudero, Speaker Martin Romualdez, Senator Grace Poe, yung apat sila na naging dalawa na lang daw. Are you saying that technically, the BICAM didn't do its job? The budget secretary didn't do its job. Even the president didn't do its job. Walang nag-review nung mga isiningit sa 2025, kaya naipasa din.
I agree. That's what happened, except with one qualification. Given the time constraints, the choices are not that many. Because if you do not approve the budget by December 31 of a particular year, then there is no budget and there is a reenacted budget. To me, what could have been done for this 2025 General Appropriations Act, given the stories that we kept hearing, we heard it in the grapevine, Karen, you and I, that there's a lot of unholy amendment. Unfortunately, either because of negligence, either because the executive branch was intimidated by the powerful people, the president failed to exercise what is called on him under the system of checks and balance. And what is this? Exercise his power to veto items in the budget or place it under for later release category so that it can be reviewed closely. So that's how our system goes because of the constraints on the budget. Example, Karen, if the 2026 proposed budget is not approved on time, the 2025 budget or General Appropriations Act is reenacted with all the kalokohan inside. So that is what they are guarding. That is what the lawmakers and the executive branch faced. And I am conceding regularity in the performance of their function. They're under time constraint and therefore would have to approve. But what I put the blame on is basically the failure to monitor what is happening on each item of the budget and recommending to the president the line item budget or the SLR.
Yeah, but I think what's difficult with what you're saying is essentially you're just questioning implementation. That's what you're saying, Senator. That dapat bantayan yung implementation.
Yes,
but the 2020
that's correct.
No, but you see now legislators are using the constraints in time to be able to put in their insertions. They're using it in their favor, right? So the problem is you have projects that we don't need, projects that have been built that have the same amount. So legislators are using this for them because you have a congressman that already own the construction companies. You have congressmen who are contractors to begin with. So ang nangyari is the implementation alone is not the problem. It's really the amendments in the insertions. Imagine last year, the Department of Education was not top 1. Matanggalan ang DepEd ng 12 billion. Parang nauwi tayo sa gadon para mapunta sa DPWH. So I don't think, Senator, it's just about the implementation that's important. It's where the money goes.
Yan.
How do we prevent legislators from taking advantage of the time constraint?
I agree with you that there is malice, there is criminal intent on the part of those who maliciously inserted and inserted items in the General Appropriations Act for the purpose of making money. What I am saying is that in the system, there is a check and balance to prevent this unholy or malicious purpose to be to damage our coffers. And what am I saying? The DBM has the power, has the equipment to monitor all items in the budget. Number two, they could have advised the president not to veto, or I'm sorry, not to approve and veto. But even if it is all veto approved, assigned, the SLR, the power to impound, is a constitutional power of the president, and he could have impounded those items which are maliciously inserted in order to make money. That's what I'm saying. The other alternative is a dictatorship.
Yeah, no, so that's why I asked, so with what you said, does that mean for the 2025 budget, the budget secretary did not do her job? Because you would have to be the one to monitor it and then explain to the President, oh, Mr. President, siningitan po ito ng 13 bilyon na, Mr. President, siningitan po ito ng ganon. So, sinong hindi gumawa ng trabaho po nila, Senator? Si Secretary Pangandaman, should she have done better?
I agree. She should have done better, unless she was coerced by the powers that be not to recommend a veto on an item which was maliciously inserted. And that could only come from the members of Congress.
Kasi sino pa ba? Di ba, paulit-ulit sinasabi itong mga nagsasalita sa issue ng flood control. Bakit hindi patawag yung si Mina Pangandaman? Di ba? Bakit hindi sila patawag? Sila naman ang may alam niyan, di ba? Bakit hindi patawag si Grace po? Nandiyan naman siya, si Congressman Toby Chanco. Bakit hindi patawag yung siya? Ang dami mong pwedeng ipatawag. Bakit hindi binito yung mga insertion na yan? Pwede mo naman recommend sa Presidente. Mr. President, may problema tayo dyan ha. Pinagsisingit ni yan. Napisan yung parang meron siyang tik sa utak, di ba? Silang yan, sila nagsingit yan eh. Pero hindi ko ginawa ni Mina. Anong dahilan? Bakit hindi niya ginawa? Malamang sa malamang pagka ginawa mo yan, sabi siguro ni Tambaluso sa kanya, mayayari ka sa akin. Yun lang naman yung mga kababayan.
Eliminate the budget secretary to look the other way. That's the only explanation, because I know, this budget secretary, decente naman po yan eh. Hindi naman magnanakaw yan. She knows the budget, she has enough experience, but talagang siguro hindi ko maiwasang isipin na talagang ginipit, tinakot, at ang problema dito is that the president cannot be intimidated. She has all the powers, but being informed that certain malicious members of Congress or the Senate have exercised undue influence, that is something that could have been prevented. And then another thing, Karen, in relation to that, I recall Undersecretary Cabral was exposed. Undersecretary Cabral of DPWH was exposed as having offered a leadership fund in the national in the budget. That in itself is evidence that the system collapsed because of practices like this. I have never heard that during my time, that there is a leadership fund that is inserted in the National Expenditure Program. The National Expenditure Program is supposed to contain programs and projects designed to improve our economy, approved by the Budget Coordinating Committee. And there is no place for such a thing as leadership fund. What does this indicate? That there is already the system of check and balance was already collapsing. And that is why you carry, that was the initial budget of the president in the authorization, and in the authorization, part of which is the approval of the budget, the system collapsed because either Amina was intimidated or Amina was negligent.
All right.
Ayun, hindi yung